Hi there guys, welcome back to the 8 points. So today we're looking at the Skaven. So what we're going to do is we'll do an unboxing, I'll build the models and then we'll judge that and we'll come back before, it'll be kind of a bit of a review, but I'll come back and do a full review another time. So what have we got in here? So we've got a couple of rat ogres, we've got pack masters, we've got giant rats, and then we've got a load of clan rats. So that's a nice little touch there. So if you see my Caradron Overlords review, you'll be pointed first of all to the fact that we've got some tokens. So the Caradron Overlord ones, these tokens had a kind of bluish hue. So these, of course, the Skaven are a Chaos faction. So they have just got the standard Warcry tokens that you get in the core box and that kind of stuff. So that's cool. We've got loads of cards. So yeah, these guys have got plenty of cards. So let's find English. So we've got that. We've got a massive amount of cards. We've got two big bases for our rat ogres. We've got tons and tons of little ones for the rest. So there's actually, this makes a hell of a lot of models. So we'll end up with 20 clan rats, a couple of rat ogres, 3 pack masters and 6 giant rats, I believe. So let's build some models up and then we'll run through what we've got. Okay, so I've kind of built everything that I'm going to build for now. So to give a basic rundown of the box, we get this giant rat card. We get 6 of those models. Now these are the cheapest models in the group at 35 points each. They're very, very low on everything except for movement. So 8 movement, only 4 damage and only 2 toughness. They don't do a lot of damage either, but these are meant literally to run around your board and grab objectives. So that's what those are for, 6 of those. Then we've got some pack masters. So this is the only card that we've got for a pack master, but there's 3 models in this kit. So there's this one, which is the one from the artwork, and then we've got 2 others that don't have this kind of staff thing, but you can tell them because they carry these whips. Then we get options for 2 ogres. So I've chosen to build them exactly as they appear on the cards that we get. There's 6 other ogres in the box, but we don't have the parts to build those. Now what you'll notice from everything I've built so far is these are very old sculpts. So these go back to 2004, the ones we're looking at now. So that's these, the pack masters that we saw, and the giant rats. We'll look at these stats again in a minute. And then the rest of the content comes from a box of clan rats. So we basically get this clan leader, so claw leader. So he is the leader of this warband anyway. There are a few more, but this is the one from this box. So he's actually got fairly decent stats, very low health, but 6 movement ain't bad. But for 145 points, it's not too bad. And that's the model to build him. This is from a 2009 sculpt. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now the rest of this box is made up. I haven't built any yet. But it's literally made up with 19 other clan rats that look like this, or similar to this. That is the rest of the content we get in that box. Now, we get a ton more cards for which we could probably kit bash. Anyone who's got a little bit of knowledge on green stuff will be able to kit bash at least some of these other ones. Except for obviously some of these more kind of crazy rat ogres that we get cards for. So if we go through some stats now, we'll start with the clan rats, which I haven't made any up, but basically 6-inch movement, 4 toughness and 8 wounds. They've got a 1-inch range where they roll 3 dice for on a strength of 3, doing 1 and 3 damage. They're 75 points, so, you know, you can field a whole ton of them. These giant rats, oh yeah, they've also got, sorry, the clan rats also got an ability, which is basically a double, which means on a 4-up they can make a bonus disengage action. These also have that same ability. 35 points, only 4 wounds, 8 movement, 2 toughness, doing 1 and 3 damage. But yeah, very low stats on now. Our claw leader, so he's got a disengage ability as well, but he's got 16 wounds this time, moves 6, and has a toughness of 4. He rolls 4 dice in attack on only a 3 strength, doing 2 and 4 damage. Our pack masters, who actually are slightly better. So they've got an ability, another double ability called Crack the Whip. Pick a visible friendly fighter with the Beast Rune mark, which is basically our giant rats, within 4 inches of this fighter. That fighter makes a bonus attack action that has a range characteristic of 3 or less. So that's not bad. It's a decent little extra action for them. They also get the disengage one. They have got a ranged attack, the 3-inch attack with their whips, rolling 3 dice, strength 3, doing 1 and 2 damage, or they've got a melee attack, which is using either a standard blade that the 2 of them have got, or this weird staff thing. Again, that does exactly the same, except it does 3 on a crit. Okay, and then we'll look at our 2 rat ogres. Now, so we've got one that's got a ranged attack. He's got a sort of gun on his arm, and then the other one we've got has got a big spike on there. So if we look at the gun one, 335 points, so expensive, but 40 wounds. Only moves 5, which isn't too bad, and it's got a 4 toughness. So on his ranged attack, he rolls 2 dice on a strength 5, doing 3 and 6 damage, which is good. And his melee, again, just 2 attacks on a strength 4, doing 4 and 8 damage. Also very good. Now, the one with the spike on his hand, he's got no range, but he's basically, his melee is exactly the same, except he rolls 4 dice instead of 2. So there are real kind of tough ones on there. If we look at their abilities, they actually have that Beast Rune mark as well. So the Pack Master can actually, with that double, can give them a melee attack. So that's really cool. The Rat Ogres have also got on a triple crushing charge until the end of this fighter's activation. The next time this fighter finishes a move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter, allocate a number of damage points to this fighter equal to the value of this ability. So that's good as well. The other abilities that the Skaven have got on a double hide bodyguard. Until the end of the battle round, friendly fighters with the leader rune mark cannot be targeted while they are within 1 inch of this fighter. There is a triple called Lead from the Back. Add half the value of this ability rounding up to the attack's characteristics on a melee attack used by friendly fighters within 3 inches of this fighter. And then the quad ability, which isn't available to any of these guys, is Recite from the Book of Woes. Until the end of the battle round, enemy fighters cannot use abilities while they're within 3 inches of this fighter. So it locks out abilities for the other team. So we get a lot of models with this, but we're fairly limited on the abilities from this box that we've got available. So if we look at the rest of the cards, we've got those 6 kind of meaty ogres, rat ogres, some of which, you know, they're all 4 and 8 damage, which is like our rat ogres as well, but they have got some abilities on there as well. In fact, to be fair, none of these are really any better than the rat ogres we've already got. They're just a fancier model. And then we've got lots of other kind of smaller Skaven units. I'm not sure what any of these are, but they're all fairly cheap, between 70, most of them are the sort of 70 range. There's another couple of leaders in there as well. There's a few 115, 170, but again, they're all 6-inch move, every one of them. The vast majority of them have got a wounds characteristic of between 8 and 10, except for a couple which are leaders, which have got 20. Or 16 in that case. But yeah, so the Skaven there's a lot of different units available for the Skaven. If you've got a Skaven army in Age of Sigmar, you can really develop some great lists with that. In terms of this box itself, you can develop an okay list. We've got a mixture of range and, you know, certainly some units that are more than capable of going and grabbing objectives and that kind of thing. And so 6 of these for less than sort of 200 points, you can swarm the objectives on the battlefield and that kind of thing. But if you're up for a fight, you're going to find it really difficult fielding units like this. You can send your rat ogres in to assist there. So yeah, it's a decent box. There's much more within the Warband that isn't within this box though. So if you're considering Skaven seriously, doing it with this box probably won't help you that much. But what I'll do is I'll play a few games with this and I'll come back and do a full review for the Skaven in the next few weeks or so. So next up, I will be looking at the Iron Jaws box. Got a decent amount of models in there, and I'll be doing a similar sort of thing to this. I'll be looking at that Warband and I'll be breaking down the pros and cons of what we get actually in the box and tell you exactly what you need to make the next step. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. I'll catch you later.